Honestly, I think the internet, collectively, you guys owe an apology to inserts, because that was pish. Hello, my name is Henry Quinney, and today we are going to be talking about inserts. Now, what started out as a fringe product only a couple of years ago is now firmly in the mainstream. Proponents will tell you a whole myriad of different reasons why you should run them, from the ability to run lighter tyres, lower pressures, with added rim protection. The theory of a tyre insert largely remains unchanged from brand to brand. Essentially, there is a piece of material that sits within the tyre, normally on the well of the rim. Now, that insert allows for a pocket of air to sit above it. This pocket of air lets the tyre deform and grip as needed. But if you were ever to take a compression that uses the full travel of the tyre, the insert will be there to provide some much needed resistance. So that sounds like a whole host of benefits, right? So what's the catch? Well, of course, an insert will add some weight. Now, both brands and riders alike will talk about the ability to run lighter tyres thanks to the extra support and protection that comes from the insert, meaning you treat the overall weight as more of a package. But of course, we don't just run heavier tyres for protection. We also do it because when we're riding trails like this, with large spikes in compression, we need some extra stability. Now, the insert should help in this regard too. Today we have offerings from 6 different brands, all with a slightly different take on the insert. They're going to be run inside a Vittoria Martello tyre that has a fairly middle of the road casing. The tyre is a 2.35 and comes in at 960 grams and will be a perfect candidate should you want to run a slightly lighter tyre combined with an insert. So how are we going to compare these inserts? Well, we have some quite controlled comparisons, a rim that is shaking in its boots, as well as some gratuitous slow motion filming planned. You see, this isn't going to be an in-depth review, that's going to come later. This is something of a preliminary hearing, because I couldn't leave Portugal without making this video. As you can see, some of these trails, well, they're rockier than Sylvester Stallone's acting CV, and with me on them, to be fair, probably involve just as many questionable line choices. But that's enough about me, let's get on with the insert. This is the Rimpact. Now, this is made of dual density foam and is a relatively lightweight option. Now, so convinced are Rimpact are the benefits of running inserts front and back that they only sell them in pairs. This is the Cushcore. Now, this is probably the most well-known of the inserts, and it has amassed over 100 EWS and World Cup podiums, which is quite a staggering statistic. With the Mega Norris, you have 3 different options, and what foam density you get depends which one you choose. We've chosen the Sandwich, which comes in 55 or 60mm widths, and we've opted for the 55. The Tannus tubeless insert utilises air chambers both above and below the insert. Now, it's the only one on test to go down this route. This is the Vittoria Airliner. It's in a size medium. Now, much like the Mega Norris, you basically cut it to length to suit your wheel diameter. This insert is from Panzer and is the lightest on test. It's also the only insert to come with sealant included, which I think is a nice touch. So for the first comparison, we're just going to be thinking about how the insert copes with a large spike in compression. And to be fair, this trail, well, it's rougher than moonshine brewed in a prison toilet. It's got some pretty gnarly stuff. But wouldn't it make it even worse if somebody found a razor sharp rock, put it on the trail, gave it a good kick to make sure it wasn't going to go anywhere, and then hit their rim into it half a dozen times? But hey, it looks like my hand's been forced. So that's enough of smashing wheels unapologetically into rocks. We're going to now check how the inserts cope with different types of compressions, i.e. landing to flat or casing a jump. Now what can I say, I feel I've been preparing for this one my whole life, as casing jumps is something of a speciality. So we're going to go to a different side of the hill for a slightly different feature, and I've got something perfect in mind. So for the second part of our comparison, we're going to see again how our inserts compare when given a large dollop of compression. So the idea here is we come to this little takeoff and we kind of plop off it. Please notice the L, I'm going to plop, not pop. So I come down here and I want to put my rear wheel somewhere around here. I'm then going to have an immediate spasm in my back, let out an undignified shriek of pain, and go over the bars somewhere down there. We will, of course, repeat it then 5 times for good measure. Anyway, no time like the present. Let's get into it. So that is it for today's inserts comparison. But it really was just dipping our toes into the subject. Now, you guys at home may well have seen things I didn't, because obviously I haven't seen the footage yet, but I've got to say that although these inserts, some of them look quite similar and have similar profiles, they really each did have their own unique flavour. And I'm really looking forward to getting into the long-term review that will be coming up sometime in the future in the next couple of months. Now, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep tabs on the channel, and look out for the full write-up on Pinkbike when I get around to it. Lots of miles to be had and laps to be ridden. Thanks guys, and we'll see you next time.